Welcome back to Cobra Vids, everyone. What we're going to do is we're going to work on the 4x4 actuator on this side. A while back, I did some work on the lower control arm on the truck, and when I got it out on the road and started driving it, I heard this weird hum, woo, almost like a phone vibrating kind of thing. When I did some research, I found that some were saying with their 4x4 engaged that the sound quit, and it sounded just fine. With a little bit of research, I found that the 4x4 actuator that locks the hubs to engage the wheels was malfunctioning or worn out or something. First off, we got the jack under it. I'm going to jack it up, support it on a jack stand, then we're going to pull the wheel off, and then we'll come back, show you what we're doing next. We got the tire off. We got it supported up on a decent jack stand here. Looks like it's safe. Shake the truck a little bit. Yeah, it looks like it's safe. First, all the brake stuff has to come off, the bracket, the rotor, the dust cover, and that's because I need to get this cable off of here, and it's behind. Let me see if I can get some light on the subject. It's back. It runs down this way, and it's between the rotor and this here, and the dust cover is easy to get off. The only thing I'll have to do is bust this off right here, and I do have a tool that I use to pop it up so I won't damage the brand new bushing or boot right there. I'm going to get started. First off, I'm going to pull off caliper. All right, so this is a 13. And you know, a lot of folks have asked me why I use hand tools rather than air tools or new electric battery operated impacts. That's because I was taught old school. Old school guys love to feel bolts breaking with their hands. It's just the feel of everything. Now, all right, real quick before we get started, the caliper bolts are 13 millimeters. This anti-lock brake cable, this is a 5/16. I was expecting millimeter. This is a 10 millimeter. This is the actual caliper brake line right here. And once I get this and this off here, then I can tie up the caliper to the upper control arm. Don't you hate it when you gotta put your protection down on the ground so you can keep from scratching it all to hell? Okay, for the brake caliper bracket, it is a 21 millimeter right there, and that will get those bolts off for you. All right, now that all that's off, the rotor's off. This here is that 15/16 one right there, and get these dust cover off so it opens the area up for that to get that out easier. Alrighty, back here on the four-wheel drive hub, there's a hose. This supplies vacuum actuator, sorry. And you always want to use a flathead or something to start prying up the hose. You never just want to pull it off because sometimes they get stuck and you'll just tear them. But if you just get a flathead and then just start prying it up a little bit, it will help break it free. See, it just did it. It just did it. And then when you do pull it off, it'll come off a lot easier. But I need two hands to break that free. But that's just a little tip. Just the tip. The tie rod's coming off next. This nut is also the 21 millimeter. So that's kind of convenient. We're not going to have to remove the lower nut or the lower ball joint nut. Thank goodness. So we got that loose. Now I got to pop this off. This size up here for this one, wouldn't you know, is a 21 millimeter as well. So this one here gets pretty much all the big bolts off of this here. So before I get this too loose, I'm going to go ahead and pull off this cap here and remove that nut. That nut in there, just in case I don't get a chance to say it again, that nut is a 13 millimeter nut. Alrighty, after removing this upper control arm, I was able to bring this back enough to pull the axle out, and there it is right there. So, all right, now here's the actuator that we're going to be replacing, and I'm not sure what I did to it, but some shavings. Oh, that's off that new axle, like paint shavings. But I'm not sure what I did to it to create that noise that it had in it, but it definitely wasn't right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and finish removing this piece. These bolts are really small. They're not even 10s. That is perfect on there. So all right, we're going to go ahead and remove these, and we'll take a closer look at this to see if we can find any damage in there. Okay, I got all the bolts out. Let's see if this is going to be difficult getting it off. Oh no, look at that. That lifted right out of there. Right out of there, no problem. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the, whoa. Whoa, part of this stayed in. Interesting. This is supposed to come out of here. There you go. Okay, no problem at all. Look at that. We're gonna have to clean this up. It's a perfect time to check the bearings. These bearings feel great. I'm gonna wipe all this crud out of here and probably pack a little bit more grease in there. Everything here looks good. So let's go to this part here. This is that gear I said that I bound up, and I forgot to I forgot to align it onto the axle because it aligns right like that. And when you switch on your 4x4 mode, it cancels the vacuum going to it, and it allows it to lock in so that this transfers the torque to the wheel. It's a weird system that I don't even know how it actually works as far as how it works, because it's so simple and the parts are so small. But I don't know what I did. I don't know why it started making that noise. Maybe it was already bad, and now that I got my new axle in there, that's when it started showing me the issue. I don't really know what happened or what's actually making the noise, but my main concern is it's not the bearing that's making the noise, and it's not the axle. So the only thing left is this actuator here, and how it fell apart, I don't even know if that is supposed to fall apart like that or not. So I'm gonna go get the new ones. I might grab me something to eat, but I did not have to remove that, and I did not have to remove that. I was able to work it out. And if you do this, be very careful of the tip and the seal that goes on here. You're gonna have to make sure that you don't damage the seal as you're popping in here, because it's a nice tight fit. I had to work on it, but all right, we'll be right back. Okay, well, here we go. Here is the new part right here, and just got to compare it, make sure that it's all good. Same part. I don't know. I don't think there's a left and right, so maybe there is. I don't know. I'll find out. Okay, so that's where it goes right there, and I think I'm going to do a dry fit first. And then I'll grease it up, and we'll get it. See, that's something there different. This here is solid in here, and this one here popped out. Remember how it was on the thingy? It had actually popped out. So I don't know what that means, but this is pretty solid in there. So that might be a sign of why it was making noise. But all right, guys, I'm going to try to get this in there, see what happens. Alrighty, so I'm going to get this in there. I'm going to dry fit it, and if there's any issues, I'll come back and I'll tell you what I found. Alright, this kit came with a little bit of grease, so I'll go ahead and use this grease. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a fine coat of grease around in this area here, and then maybe a little bit on these gears here, and then I'll throw some grease in this ring here and rotate it some so it's all nice and greased up, and then if I have any left, I'll throw it in there just to grease everything up in there. So let me get that done. Let me get it installed, and then we'll be right back to tell you what we did. Alright guys, before I do continue on, I want to show you this needle bearing here. That's what supports the axle tip. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of fresh grease in there just to grease it up so it's well greased. Well, okay, so we did get it all greased up, and now I just got to put these bolts in. It is kind of spring loaded, so definitely go cross pattern, you know, kind of tighten it up evenly to where it goes down pretty much even. Don't tighten one down and then go across the other, because you might mess it up. And that's what it looks like inside. I greased everything up as good as I could. The inconsistency in that needle bearing there, that will smooth out and spread as it works in. So, okay, let me be right back here. Not to mention that the kit did come with brand new bolts, so that's a plus. So now I've got the new part on. I've got that gear, you know how that gear sits in this ring right here. I got that all greased up. I put a thin coat of grease on everything else just to keep it greasy, and I did put some on the seals so that it gives an opportunity for the seals to slide onto the sealing spots. But something I did notice is this had a lot of like paint chippings and stuff from the coat that they put on here, which should have been left bare metal and maybe greased a little bit to prevent rust. But I cleaned it off as much as I could. I might even take a wire brush and clean this out. Yeah, let's go ahead and get a wire brush on there just to give it the best chance of sealing. There you go. As you can see, it's much cleaner now, so that will be a better seal, and I'm pretty sure that's where the outer seal seals up to. So alrighty, so let's get this axle back in here, and I'll tell you if there's anything that was rough. I got a dog running around here somewhere. Alrighty guys, well, we got everything back on. Everything's tightened up. Everything's torqued except for my my caliper bracket. I need to torque those down. But now I got my anti-lock brake cable routed correctly. For those of you that watched my lower control arm video, I got it routed wrong, and I didn't notice until I got it all assembled. It wouldn't have really made a difference if it ran under here or on top of here. It would have still been just fine, and it rode just fine. But I said the next time I have this apart, I'll fix it. I fixed it. It's done. So, all right, all I got to do now is get these bolts torqued down, and then I will be able to go take it for a ride. The upper nut is on. The boots just moved up. I gotta work that back down. Yep. But we got the tie rod back on and tightened up. We got everything buttoned up except for those caliper bracket bolts and the wheel, of course. So let me get all that put back together, and I'll magically wave my hand and poof. Now we're coming out of our road. We got to drive like a couple miles out to the main road, so we're almost there. Now we're gonna show you all how it sounds. Let's get out to the main road and we'll come right back. All right, we're turning on the main road. I do not hear that noise. Before it started really making noise right about here last time, so I think we're good. I'm gonna hold the camera out the window here. guys, I do not hear a single noise coming from the front end. Let me roll up this window, see if it sounds any different. See my little Winnie girls going for a test drive with me. Say hi to YouTube, Winnie. See? Yeah. Hello, YouTube. That's what she's saying. But all right, guys, if there's any change in the way this sounds, I'll definitely post a update video. I'm going to do a little bit more driving just to break it in and see if anything happens. I'll switch into four-wheel drive and drive that way for a little bit, and then we'll drive the rest of the way home with just regular two-wheel, just to test that actuator out. So yeah, all right, guys. Well, I hope this helped you out. It fixed my my sound that it was making. It was like a hum sound, almost like a cell phone vibrating. Whoa, whoa, but it was whoa. You know, kind of like you would have big old knobby mud tires on your car, and you took it out and you drove it out on the pavement. That's kind of what it sounded like. It's hard to recreate it, but if you hear that sound and you put it into four-wheel drive and it stops, then I would definitely replace those actuators. I bought both of them for about $65. So when I do the lower control arm on the other side, I'm going to go ahead and just swap out that part because, you know, it's probably bad too. My truck's got almost 250,000 miles on it, so parts are going to start going bad. We'll catch you on the next one, guys.